the Olympic Games in Beijing, the FIDE archery juggernaut pulls into Antalya for round 3 of the 2008 Medicsan Archery World Cup. The Turkish Archery Federations previously hosted the World Championships, European Championships, and previous World Cup stages. With around 350 competing archers, Stage 3 promises to be an intense competition. The World Cup rankings are littered with a who's who of archery glitterati, reassuringly flanked by new talent. Natalia Voleva and Natalia Erdenieva are joined by 4 Korean archers in the ladies' top 10 recurve table. Korea's dominance of the men's recurve discipline is preserved by Im Dong-hyun and Park Kyung-mo. Jamie Van Natta sits on a compound table of European ladies jostling for a place in the final stage. In men's compound, Dietmar Trillis is solid, Roberval dos Santos workmanlike, and Dominique Genet, well, never seems to shine as brightly as you'd expect. Can Team USA pull the recurve carpet out from under the feet of the Koreans just months before the Olympics? Soak up the sun, sea, and sand as the third round of the Medicsan Archery World Cup gets underway. It's the bronze compound women's final with Ivana Budin facing Camilla Somod. After losing by 4 points, 115 to 111 to Jamie Van Natta in the semifinals, the otherwise unbreakable Ivana Budin now faces Denmark's Camilla Somod in the bronze final. Camilla had suffered a similar fate at the hands of world champion Evgenia Salvi. Wind conditions at this stage of the match not looking too bad. Ivana had 59 points from her first 6 arrows. At the halfway point, she had a 5-point lead. And at the close of the third, the margin remained the same. Scores at that point were 87 to 83. Now we're coming up to the last arrows of the match.
Final arrow in 8, 4,
and that is not what Camilla needs if she's going to have a chance. Now that's a 10-10-10 and broken knock from Ivana, and that is a fantastic finish, 117 points. Great shooting. Camilla limping home with a 110. Ivana finishing the match looking like she was shooting for gold all the way through. In the bronze compound men's final, both Peter and Patrizio had to earn their respective places. It was a performance worthy of a grand finale, both archers taking it on themselves to relish in the magnificent setting and producing one of the weekend's finest exhibition matches. Peter Elzinga, the guy in orange, found himself on the wrong side of Sergio Pagni in the semis. He lost 117-115, and this guy, Patrizio Hoffer, went down 114-113 to Dejan Sitar. Now, both of those guys are frustrated at their departures from the chase for the gold, so the scene is set for 4 explosive ends. Number 1, both archers level at 29 apiece. Number 2, a copycat rhythm starting to take effect, 58 apiece. The third end had Elzinga break the deadlock, shooting 30 to Hoffer's 29. And here we are with some of the best shooting of the weekend. End 4. And both of them... Too late for Patrizio, though, ending the match with a 1-point margin of error, 118 to 117. Future of compound archery. If the matches get any closer, we're going to need to add an 11 ring to that target. In the bronze recurve women's final, it was an all-Korean affair if ever you saw one. Park Sung-hyun, the holder of the world record for the FIDE round, would normally be in the final, the Olympic champion finding herself pitted against her teammate after an unceremonious 119-106 drubbing from Yoon Ok, her teammate, in the semifinals. Miss Yoon setting a new world record after 7 years at 118. Now, Miss Kwak, on the other hand, arrives in the bronze final, thankful after a burst of confidence from the Ukraine's Victoria Caval. All the way through this match, Miss Pak didn't show much in the way of emotion, shooting a volley of perfect arrows in the first 2 ends for 60 points. And a lot of people in the audience thought, hey, maybe that record's going to go down again. But at the halfway mark with a 9-point margin, Park raised a smile as one of her arrows finally found its way into the red. Kwak shot well, but couldn't do much to compete with Pak.
9 points.
Not enough. And Pak either looked extremely angry not to be in the final or extremely happy to be shooting well. Just like that. Pak shooting her last arrow in perfect end. Kwak shedding a few tears. Pak happy with 117 to 108 victory. In the bronze recurve men's final, Rahul Banerjee faced Park Kyung-mo. During pre-match practice, Pak, the 1993 world champion, was surrounded by fans and archers trying to get a close look at his technique. Losing 116 to 107 to Im Dong-hyun, his teammate, in the semifinals, Pak didn't lose much credit. He found himself pitched against Rahul Banerjee, himself maybe numbed into submission by the USA's Brady Ellison in a semifinal tiebreak that had more action in 12 minutes than you'll see in 90 minutes of football. Rahul took the lead in the first, 28-26, thanks largely to a somewhat wobbly start from Pak. In the second, Pak suddenly burst into life and reset the clock 55 apiece at the halfway mark. In the third, both archers shot 28, and the word tiebreak was starting to be used with alarming frequency through the field of play, which was on live TV and running alarmingly short of time. But in a flash of brilliance, Pak shot that vital point with the last arrow of the match, taking the bronze by 1. Pak suffered in the first end. That's why he's no longer a regular gold medalist on the FIDE circuit. It's the gold medal match for the compound women, and it is a very high-level match, as has been usual for the last few matches. Jamie Van Nat of the United States, the self-funded single member of the U.S. team continuing on the World Cup circuit this season's up against a very important competitor. This is the champion of the world both indoors and outdoors, Evgenia Salvi of Italy. After the first half, it was a very close match, Evgenia with a single-point advantage. A lot of pressure on Jamie, and that is 9. Jamie doesn't have the benefit of a national team to fund her getting to these events. She's counting on winning to keep on the circuit. And at this point, she's probably feeling some pressure. It's not the wind that's putting those arrows in the 9 ring.
10 on. 9 points.
Evgenia with a tremendous amount of experience and a tremendous amount of confidence, being one of the very few people to win both the World Indoor and the World Outdoor in the same season. 3 arrows to go in the match.
10 points.
Solid shot from Jamie.
On 10 points.
The other difference between these two is that the Italian team, all 30 of them, are right behind Evgenia, whereas Jamie has very few supporters in the crowd. That doesn't make things easier. Tied score. Jamie needs a 10 to keep it alive, and she gets it. Now the pressure's on Evgenia. That's the reason why the low-scoring archer shoots first. It puts more pressure, and Evgenia just takes it on. Now she's forced a tiebreak. All right, so after 12 arrows, 113 points out of 120, and it's a tiebreak that's about to take place. Jamie gets to shoot first. Okay, solid X. Can Evgenia match it? There it is, another X. It's going to go to a second tiebreak. If a third arrow is required, it would actually be measured as far as distance from the center. Here comes the last tiebreak. Oh, a solidly bad shot from Jamie, and she knew it. The moment it broke, you could tell she knew that wasn't going to go in the middle. And that's a 9 for Evgenia. Lucky. And a win. And Evgenia knows that she was very fortunate to win that one with a 9.
In beautiful Antalya on the beach.
Thank you.
So solid shooting from 2 very, very good shooters. Now here is the men's compound gold medal match, and this is very much a comeback story for one of these gentlemen, not this guy. He's been on a roll all season, Sergio Pagni, the 29-year-old from Italy. It's this guy who's made his comeback. It's the first time in 18 months that Dejan Sitar is shooting at a very high level. The previous week in Vittel, France at the European Championship, Dejan shot extremely well, and he's keeping it going here. Now Sergio Pagni opens the match with a solid end. He's got 68 points after 7 arrows, and after 7 arrows, it is all tied up. It's a 10 fest.
10.
Tied score at 8 arrows.
9. Liner. 10.
All right, 3 arrows to go. Now the question is, who's going to blink first with only 3 shots left? Maybe a shoot-off here. 3 arrows at this level. Here comes Sergio. Solid shooting. Dejan, not a good time to shoot a 9. Another 10 from Sergio. He's not letting up. Another 9 from Dejan. He's down 2.
10 will clinch.
And that clinches the match. Sergio Pagni with 117 points. Dejan finishing with a 9 to be 2 back. Sergio Pagni taking his second World Cup event of the year after a stellar performance in the indoor circuit earlier this season. Solid and smooth performance from Sergio Pagni, taking the match 117 to Diane Sitar's comeback 115.
I started archery 11 years ago. My mother is my coach.
I first picked up a bow when I was just 11 years old.
The first big competition, international competition for me was 2005 European Grand Prix.
I would never have imagined that I would travel the world so much to shoot archery.
I think that for all sportsmen, Olympic Games, it's the bigger dream.
My fondest memory, Slovenia, 1996, the European Championships.
I prepared to Beijing and we will shoot to medal, of course.
The team is very friendly. I'm a leader and people look up to me for advice.
In Ukraine we have a medal from all Olympic Games. And we hope to this Olympic Games to have medal too.
When I was younger, my hero was Robin Hood.
I want to be Olympic medal too and look like to Park, to Valeva. It's really a good person in archery.
When I'm shooting, I concentrate upon myself only.
It's a World Cup and I'm in great final. It's very hard, but it's very big emotions for me.
While Victoria Caval may be on the road to Beijing, she's trying to be on the road to gold here in Antalya, and her opponent is the world record-holding Yoon Ok of Korea, who set the world record of 119 points earlier today, ranked 5th in the world, the 23-year-old Yoon, on target number 1.
From Ukraine, Victoria Caval.
23-year-old Victoria Caval is ranked 19th in the world. She is the best of what Ukraine has to offer right now in outdoor competition. Very promising match. We're looking forward to some great action.
Nine points. 7 points.
Now that is not what you expect from someone who just shot a new world record. A 7 from a Korean shooter? Unheard of. A 7 from a Korean shooter the quality of Yoon? Well, obviously unheard of. But Victoria's somewhat open group, not showing a whole lot of perfection, but look at that. Another arrow out there in the red from Yoon. Shocking. So at this point, we're looking at a situation where Victoria Caval has a real shot at unseating the world record holder. She's got a 3-point advantage, and Yoon isn't giving her a whole lot of chance to lose much of that advantage because Yoon just shot a 9. Victoria's hanging right in there, maintaining 3-point lead. Even if Yoon manages to find her stride like she did with that 10, it's still looking pretty good for Victoria. And she is hanging right in there.
9 points.
Yoon with an uncertain 9. You could hear her react on that shot. She didn't like where that aperture was. Here comes Victoria. Now she's taking a bit of time here. She certainly got the arrow off ahead of time, but wait a minute. The judge has actually red flagged the arrow. The judge has decided that the arrow was shot too late. It's crystal clear. The arrow wasn't shot too late. It's the audio, the beeper, that determines whether time is up or not. But the judge made a decision, and now Victoria is finding herself down by a tremendous number of points. Defeat snatched from the jaws of victory because of a call from a judge, which is now being protested by the team of Victoria Caval, the Ukrainian team, furiously writing a protest as the match continues.
9.
No one happy with the situation. It sounds like a tomb out there.
Calling it an 8.
This can't be a very satisfying situation for Yoon either. I'm sure she'd want to beat Victoria on her own terms. Okay, so 3 arrows to go. A gut-punched Victoria Caval, trying to keep her spirits up to finish up this match. She is behind by something on the order of 9 or 10 points because the judge's call has taken away her high arrow. And it turns out that The jury of appeal is now being convened during the match, and they're about to make a decision. Maybe not able to make that decision in time to change anything here. Just out. You can only imagine what's going through Victoria's head right now. I mean, this is completely taking the wind out of her sails.
10. 9.
The primary responsibility of a FIDE judge is to protect the score of the archer.
Final errors of the match.
From where I sat, it didn't look like that happened this particular time.
Liner, it's out. It is
Finishing
9.
with
Final error.
97 points. It would have probably been more like about a 106.
And a 9 to finish the match for Miss
So
Yoon of
just based on
Korea.
raw score, at least a
108
2-point,
points and
true victory for Miss Yoon.
11-point
But she's
margin.
going to lose some pleasure in that. And it turns out the jury of appeal agreed that was an unjust call. Victoria got her 9 points back, and she also got an extra gold medal after the organizers decided to do the right thing.
파이널 몸이 너무 안 좋아서 뭐 큰 기대 안 하고
I have had a very bad cold,
한 발 한 발 최선을
so I have been
다하면서
shooting under very bad conditions. So I
거기에
did not
대해서
expect to
특별히
do
생각해 본
much,
적은 없는데
but I did my
우리가
best.
평상시처럼 하는 대로만 하면 잘할 수 있다고 생각해요.
For my country and
그러니까
myself,
별로 신경 안
I'm going to do my best,
우리
that's
거만
for
하면
sure.
되는데 뭐 선발전 같은 거 준비하고 그때랑 똑같이요.
Because we
선발전
have
준비하고
so many
이래서
selection
준비를 많이
competitions
못해서
for the Beijing Olympics, we did not have too much time to prepare for the games.
선발전 다 끝났고 하니까 이제
So as soon as I
잘할 수
get
있을
back
거예요.
to Korea,
준비 잘하면
I'm going to
그때
practice
좋은
more and
성적
more,
있을
and then I will be ready for the Olympics.
나라를 위해서 내 자신을 위해서 할 수 있는 데까지 끝까지 최선 다하는 게 제가 할 수 있는 거니까 최선 다하겠다.
Now coming up, a battle of experience versus hard work and preparation. Im Dong-hyun of Korea has the Olympic record for the qualification round, as well as being the world outdoor champion. His opponent coming up here, Brady Ellison, represents the first appearance of an American recurve shooter in the finals of the World Cup circuit, as far as I can remember. The reason is because the Americans have been holding their Olympic trials process during most of the World Cup circuit events this season. So it's the first opportunity, now that they've selected Brady and 2 other men for the American team, to send somebody, and he's made it all the way to face this guy, Im Dong-hyun, the 22-year-old world champion, world-ranked number 2 right now. His best score in a tournament, 116 points. Brady is largely an unknown quantity on the world circuit. He is one of the best American recurve shooters, Im opening with an 8 on that end. Brady looking an awful lot in terms of form like another famous shooter, a fellow by the name of Simon Fairweather, who ended up winning the World Championships in 1991 and the Olympic Games in the year 2000. Why is this, you may ask? Why does he have the same form? The answer is he has the same coach, Ki-Sik Lee of Korea. Ki-Sik moved from Australia, where he had coached Simon Fairweather to Olympic gold, to the United States about 18 months ago. He's taken on the task of teaching the top American shooters his form. And so far, Brady Ellison, having made it a gold medal match, showing that that certainly got some merit. Im Dong-hyun of Korea, one of the few Korean shooters to be on the team for more than 10 years now. Right now, Brady Ellison has got Mr. Im right where he wants him, behind by a point. But Im comes back with a 10, and Brady's going to need a 10 to keep his lead. That is not what you want to do when you've got Im Dong-hyun standing next to you on the line. You don't want to shoot 8s, because that's what happens.
9.
And that's not going to make it up. You saw it, Mr. Im throw a little, well, I guess Korean on that one. And Brady still shooting solidly, but just not grouping as well as his Korean opponent. And Brady knows it. He just holds up a 1 centimeter separation of his fingers, showing his coach how far out he was. He knew it when he shot it. Now Im's got a 3-point advantage going into the final 6 arrows of this match. Not looking too good for Brady.
9.
Great timing, great pace on both shooters' parts. Brady in particular shooting with really good form, just not getting the points. Solid shot.
9.
If you really want a good example of how to shoot a bow and arrow correctly, look at Brady Ellison.
10.
Im Dong-hyun, however, while perhaps a bit more unconventional, is getting the numbers. 5 will lead now. It's a 10. It's a 5-point lead for Im.
9 arrows expended, 3 arrows to go. 6-point lead for Mr. Im of Korea.
Now Brady Ellison can take this as a learning experience because it's going to be awfully hard for him to catch Im Dong-hyung with only 3 arrows to go unless Im makes a very big mistake. However, Brady is hoping to find himself in a similar position a few months down the road as we head to the Beijing Olympic Games. Right now, this is going to be a learning experience for him. So let's see how well he applies the lesson. 3 arrows to go.
Ellison, USA, 9 points.
All right, 9 points on that shot, and all Im needs now to lead is a 4. It's a 9. Im leading by 6, 2 arrows to go. Brady with a 10. Looks like he's found his stride again. However, that's a 10 for Im, and there's basically no chance for Brady to win this match unless Im has a catastrophic problem. And that's a 9 to finish the match for Brady. All Im needs to do is put the arrows somewhere in the red, and everything's fine.
4 will win. 9 points.
Solid victory for Im Dong-hyung. Takes it in stride. Brady Ellison, on the other hand, having a very good performance for a first World Cup appearance, finishing with the silver medal. And it bodes well for his future. Will he be seeing Im or his equivalent again in Beijing, making it to the final? A lot of Americans are counting on that as Brady Ellison heads for Beijing down the road. So Im Dong-hyung with a decisive 114-point victory, exactly the sort of thing you'd expect from a man of his caliber. Brady Ellison with a 108 for his first gold medal match in the World Cup.
되게 색다르고 좀 뭐랄까.
This is very new for me, and it was very refreshing. I hope that we can have more competitions like this in the future as well. Wherever we go, there are fans from all over, all different countries, so it is not a big matter for me. I will do my best, and then everyone will cheer for me. I'm going to continue to shoot at my best in order to win the FITA World Cup final, that's for sure. When Brady Ellison beat Mr. Kim of the Korean team, who is shooting very well, it made me want to beat the USA even more, because you know, Korea must win.
상황이 올라왔을 때는 어느 정도 짐작을 하고 있었고 오히려 미국 선수가 올랐으면 반응도 많이 있었습니다.
So back to the matter at hand regarding the World Cup ranking after Stage 3. Moving up to the top of the chart, a new name, Ivana Budin, who was silver at Dominican Republic. She took bronze here, and that's good enough for her to take first place in the standings by 2 points over Jamie Van Natta, who's been to all the events but hasn't been successful at all of them. Jamie's got 49 points. Neither archer locked at this stage. Amadine Bouillot of France is 40 points right now in the bag, giving her third place. Camilla Somod of Denmark moving up to fourth place. Right behind, though, it's Evgenia Salvi, the world champion. Sergio Pagni, almost a lock at this stage. He's got 50 points in the bag for first place. Dietmar Trillis, last year's world champion, has 41 points, a bit of a ways to go before he can consider himself locked. He didn't do so well here at this event. Liam Grimwood of GBR is got 32 points. Robert Timms, the newcomer from Oz, also with 32 points. Roberval dos Santos making a run, still in the running as well. Patrizio Hoffer. Dave Cousins won't be going to any more events. He'll fall off the list. Im Dong-hyung, now number 1, but not locked for the grand final. Romain Giroul of France, victorious from Porridge, Croatia, still holding on to second. But Rahul Banerjee coming up close behind. Pak Kyung-mo, the legendary Korean, is third with 33 points. But Janata Talakdar wants his ticket back to the finals of the World Cup, the 2006 grand finalist with 31 points in the bag. In the recurve women's division, close to a lock is Natalia Valeva. She just basically has to show up and finish in the top 16 in the next event to be locked. Yoon Ok-hee of Korea has 50 points. Pak Sung-hyun of Korea has 35 points and is third. Justyna Moshpanek of Poland didn't do well at this event, but she still has enough points to be fourth at this stage. Also still in the running, Natalia Erdonieva. Currently, she is 7th, and she's tied with Kwak Yi-ji of Korea. Could be that Natalia will make it back to the World Cup final as she did in Dubai last year. So that wraps things up from Turkey, where we had something that just broke all the rules a final on the beach in Antalya. Who would have thought you could shoot a 117 on the beach? That's just what Miss Pak did, the Korean shooter shooting what's got to be the highest score ever shot on a strip of sand. Next, we're off to the Bordeaux region of France for the last leg of the FIDE Médecins Archery World Cup before the grand final later this year. It's going to be a night shoot in the vineyard. Boe, see you there.